Today marks the 50th anniversary of the 16th Street church bombing. 4 little girls who were inside the church were killed. Earlier that year in May, hundreds of school students marched in Birmingham during the city's American Civil Rights Movement campaign. They marched downtown to talk to the mayor about segregation in the city, but they were attacked by fire hoses and police dogs. One child foot soldier told the story of her remarkable bravery and why she says she could have been a victim in the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. The Children's March of 1963.
It was a horrific time. It was a time of horror. It was time to be afraid. It was time of injustice. It was time of inequality.
Their motivation for marching.
We were children and we were willing to die before we would allow ourselves to be treated like our parents.
Gloria Randall was a child foot soldier. 15 years old, she marched out of 16th Street Baptist Church and through the streets in 1963. Danger at every turn.
On May 2nd, 1963, more than 1,000 students skipped school and marched on downtown, gathering at the 16th Street Baptist Church. Bull Connor responded by jailing more than 600 children that day. So the next day, another 1,000 students filled the park in which we stand now. With his cells full and his back against the wall, Connor responded savagely. This is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable that this would have happened.
50 years later, it's still emotional for Randall to walk through Kelly Ingram Park, where so many children encountered abuse, unimaginable violence.
I got water hosed at the end of Kelly Ingram on that side. So I was water hosed down, but I was trying to stand behind the bigger kids because I didn't weigh but 88 pounds.
So you had to be smart.
Yeah, use your head. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna stand behind him. He's bigger than I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna try to stoop down to try to take some of that pressure off. People rolling down the street like balls. You know, and the water hoses felt like hot grease in my face.
But Randall faced it head on. She says the alternative wasn't an option.
Then I had too many questions as to why I couldn't drink from a water fountain, or why I couldn't eat in that Newberry's, or why I couldn't use that bathroom, and I had to go.
During that time, Randall spent many days at 16th Street Baptist Church in her fight for equality, especially the weeks leading up to the bombing. Randall says she could have easily been inside.
And there was so much bombing going on. The only reason I wasn't in 16th Street bombing is because my mother says, you've been going down there for 5 weeks. You're going to your own church today. Now, we saw it later on, before it was cleaned up. Nobody was in a hurry to clean up a black church. And they left that out for you to remember. Stay in your place. Your place is behind. If you black, you get back. White is right, you know? And that's what the general consensus was at that time.
A time of bloodshed and beatings, but Randall didn't break. A survivor. Her steps led to equality.
When the president came on television and he said, segregation is over, I was excited because I felt like I had made a difference. I felt like that trip all the way to 11th Avenue and back down to 19th Street and back across City Hall and me falling on my knees with prayer in my heart. I think if it had not been for God on my side, we would not have made it.
Randall and thousands of other children made history, raised in a time of injustice, now being praised. You're considered a hero for what you did.
Yeah, I thank them. You know, I think they're kind. I've had a lot of interviews and I've had a lot of people want me to say things, you know, but it took me almost 40 years to even open my mouth because I still have wounds that don't heal. I still have wounds that don't heal. And I told you about the wounded warriors. That's what foot soldiers are. They're wounded warriors.
Warriors, we salute because we know this walk of freedom wouldn't be possible without you. And Gloria spends her time now talking to people in the community and around the country about the civil rights movement. She says it's important for people to know their history so they don't repeat it. To see our 50 Years Forward pieces, you can go to our website, alabamas13.com/50years.